Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
Good morning, hello, good afternoon if you're looking to this as a recording or you're looking from somewhere else, a different time zone. Welcome, 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 all of you. Take your time to drop in, to settle in. Welcome to our last day of this teaching week on the topic of sacred body, sacred path, the feminine principle on our spiritual journey. So if you haven't been with me, my name is Nirmala. I'm speaking from the north of Germany. I'm supporting people with body-focused therapy and with mindfulness, embodiment, and yoga. And I'm practicing Buddhist meditation since almost 30 years. I practiced several years in Asia, and then coming back to the West and having a family with 3 children, I really much brought the embodied approach more to the practice and practicing with and in the body and through mindful movement. Yeah, it's really nice to see people dropping in here. Probably most of you have been here already before during this week, and I hope you could go with these perspectives I offer here. Feminine perspectives, feminine principles in Buddhism. And as I'm talking, and I can repeat that again and again as I'm talking about the masculine and the feminine principles, I'm not talking about gender. I'm really talking about energies. And we can all look at ourselves. We can all observe, where do we find these energies in our body? Where do we have in our life? Like where do we have an energy of really straight, clear understanding, going forward, also like striving, doing? And where is it more like an energy of being? And these are just like 2 examples. Yeah. So this session runs like this. I'm talking for about 15 minutes, and then we have half an hour for a guided meditation. And at the end, there is 50 minutes time for question and answers. And you will see at the bottom of your screen a little box with a question mark sign in it. And if you go on there, you can put your question there. If you're coming in from a mobile phone, you need to put your question in the chat box. And I hopefully find it there. Yeah, and also really welcome to put reflections here, or maybe some moments of if there are any at all. Yeah. Yeah. Start with a few lines, a very few lines, short lines from Jennifer Wellwood. She's also a practitioner and teaching. Although we continue to lose the jewel of our awakened nature, it is through finding it again and again that it becomes ever more forged within us. So we lose this jewel and we find it again and again on our journey. And just this morning, I was really coming on the little walk, coming to this hall I'm in, really deep drinking, the supportive sentence for me, if things should be different, they would be different. Yeah, that's the English translation. If things should be different, they would be different. Kind of brought me back to, this is life. This is life with the heavy feeling, with difficulties. Yeah. And in Buddhism, we speak about the three jewels, like Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. These three jewels, they represent the source of refuge and orientation. The Buddha is the enlightened one, the Dharma is the teachings of awakening, and the Sangha as the community of practitioners who walk the path together. And we could look at it in the following way. We could look at the Buddha as gender neutral, right? Like he stands for universal enlightenment that exists beyond dualities, beyond genders. And we could look at the Dharma, and this is just one interpretation, yes? It's not written in the original text. And I believe the teachings, they are forming as we practice and as we develop together in society and in a Sangha and evolution. And the Dharma, we could see at the masculine principle, like the teachings and lawfulness of the universe. It's really a powerful, structured order that explains the path to enlightenment, the path to awakening. And then we have the Sangha, and that's what I want to talk about this morning, which is, I consider as a feminine principle. Yeah, the Sangha is a community, like it's us, a community of practitioners who put the Buddha's teachings into practice, who put the Buddha's teachings into life. And in many spiritual traditions, the feminine is often associated with aspects of safety and nourishment, support. Yeah. And these are values which apply to the Sangha as it serves as a supportive community on our path. So the Sangha could be seen as something like living and growing, like a living and growing dimension of Buddhism, which has kind of more this movement of spreading out, widening, while the Buddha and the Dharma could be seen as more static principles. And I like to read you a few words about Thich Nhat Hanh, what he said about Sangha. And it's years and years and years ago that he spoke these words. It is possible the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take the form of a community practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. And the practice can be carried out as a group, as a city, as a nation. The Buddha, Shakyamuni, our teacher, predicted that the next Buddha would be Maitreya, the Buddha of love. We desperately need love. And in the Buddha's teaching, we learn that love is born from understanding. The willingness to love is not enough. If you do not understand, you cannot love. The capacity to understand the other person will bring about acceptance and loving kindness. And there he's really bringing the masculine principle in of understanding, wisdom practice, and the feminine principle of loving kindness and care. It goes further. Our practice should be supported by the people around us, and we can learn how to support them in return. We support them by looking deeply so we can recognize the seeds of peace, joy, and loving kindness in them. We touch these seeds, we water these seeds every day in order to make other persons bloom like a flower. What spiritual practice, isn't it? And when these persons bloom like flowers, we all become happier. We have to help each other in our practice. The practice of meditation is not an individual matter. We have to do it together. It almost almost brings me to tears. I love these words. And we are habitually so often just trying to defend ourselves, like judging as lower and higher, or holding back with our appreciation, as if there's something to lose if we speak out appreciation. And the Buddha, he woke up to some really profound truths, like everything is impermanent and that all aspects of existence depend on each other, that everything affects everything else. So it doesn't matter in this world how I look into your eyes, how I look in your being, at your being. And it's so, even like hearing that again and again and having insights about this experience, and insight about this truth in our practice, in our life, which is our practice. It's so hard to free ourselves from the bubble of separation. We have this strong longing for belonging. So how would it be to really understand others and to be really understood, to really take the time for deep listening, rather than just sitting there and having already all our judgments and ideas and responses in our mind, just giving really the space to the other person. I did that with my husband when we met 14 years ago. Like even before we became a couple, my husband was suggesting to meet once a week to talk for 1.5 hours. So it was like him talking 15 minutes, and then it was on my side 15 minutes, and then him again 15 minutes, and then myself, and him again 15 minutes, and myself. And the other person was just holding space, just listening. And we all really look for happiness. And because we don't find it where we usually look for it, we want to find it in something larger that kind of brings us also to the practice. So when we see the Buddha as our home and the Dharma as our way to come home, the Sangha are the people we walk this path together. We can't do it alone. Like this process of awakening is only happening in relationship to others, in relationship to the universe. Even the Buddha didn't do it alone. Like in his awakening story, as you might know, when he was sitting under the tree and made the decision like not to get up, but before I really understand. And there, at one of the last moments, Mara came. Mara is kind of the demon of the Buddhists, the devil. And Mara sent all kinds of arrows, like greed and worries and hate and delusion and doubt. So the Buddha, so is it written down, had this last kind of doubt, like, who do you think you are? Mara said that to him. Who do you think you are that you can gain enlightenment? And that was so difficult, like to hold, to be with, that what the Buddha did, he asked the earth for help. And you can see in the statue behind me there, like this hand is reaching down to touch the earth, right? And the goddess of the earth came, and she, like, flooding with water the arms of Mara away. So, like, and again, the earth is like the feminine principle, right? Which is part of this enlightenment story. And the Buddha didn't do it alone. It wouldn't have been possible. There was the help of milk porridge. Rice porridge. I was talking about this yesterday. And the earth, like, what a big support. So our Sangha can be a support for us. And Thich Nhat Hanh really emphasizes to stay with the Sangha you're in, like not to get fussy about it, because we won't find perfection anywhere out there. Just really enough to have people who are practicing, who are on the path. And it's an invitation to have a complete, all-embracing yes, like no part left out. Like the Sangha can be a mirror where I can be with my shadows. And if we all hold this and we don't make it like you and my problem and you and my difficulty, but just, wow, it's ours, you know? It can be like a discovery we do together as a Sangha, rather than telling us how to be and what to do. It can be like a holding space for our shadows. Yeah. So how would it be if we make this a practice, looking in each other's eyes and really seeing the divine in each being? And just make this a practice. It's really transformative. So it's time now for our meditation. Thank you so much for listening until here. And yeah, just cuddling yourself into your cushion. You're always welcome to lay down. What about taking any pressure away here from you? As if this meditation has to be like a special meditation. And just see what you need to arrive in this space which allows meditation. And as you might know, at the beginning, I have many suggestions of how to get more settled, how to calm the nervous system, and you can pick up on any of them, like moving the body really gently, like moving the spine a bit, like considering the spine as like the coming together of all bones in the body. Or just maybe even like just touching your face or giving a massage to your face. And one thing which could be helpful if you're just coming out of some difficulties and it seems to be like difficult to sit down or lay down, you could just stand up and shake your body for 5 minutes without the idea of having to shake anything away, just shaking with anger, frustration, or tiredness, worries, restlessness. And with a sense of, if this should be different, it would be different. Maybe a sense of it's okay, just okay for now. And it could be really helpful to feel the whole body breathing, the whole volume of the body expanding with the inhalation, sinking with the exhalation. Or maybe elongating the exhalation and dropping into this space, falling into this vast, huge space behind the exhalation before the inhalation begins. If you like, you could imagine a being, like a person or a fantasy being or a pet, something you relate to in a warm way, like visualizing maybe a pair of eyes there, or a smile of a child, or your cat cuddling in on the sofa, or like a tree, a flower which you love. Visualizing someone you feel easy to appreciate, you feel easy to have warm feelings towards this being. Could be someone who has been on this earth before. Some fantasy being. And seeing what resonates in your body while looking at this being, while opening up gently, tenderly to this being. Feeling the space around the mouth, in the heart area. And there's an invitation to stay with what feels warm or opening or soft. And maybe inviting again and again this picture of another being or a place in nature, maybe. Just feeling how that resonates in your cells. And if this is no path for you, then you could find out if it works the other way around. Like we are kind of on a journey looking for some softness, some tenderness. A tenderness which allows to be with what is, which embraces everything. Maybe you find the picture more helpful that another being, a place, a nature, a tree loves you, sends you all the warmth and the kindness, appreciation, holds you. And feeling where that resonates in your body. You could imagine like a warm pair of eyes, friendly, warm eyes looking at you. so that you go either way. And be with these feelings in the body, with the sensations of opening, kindness, friendliness, appreciation. Where you feel this more opening, getting more soft in the body, a place where you can come back to again and again. A friendliness which spreads, which embraces all of life, all life happening in you and others. If this is too much, so just stay with yourself. Whatever comes along, like irritations and rejections, worries, doubts, have it floating around and come back to the place of refuge, the softness in the body, warm, friendly eyes. Coming back again and again. That sensation of friendliness, softness, kindness in the body. Feeling the Sangha of elements, the earth, supporting this practice, nourishing, feeding this body as the water is. And the sun, the warmth, giving this gift of comfort, coolness, warmth, and the air ever exchanging, drinking in, giving back to the trees and plants, And taking in their exhalation, becoming your inhalation. Constantly supported by the earth, by life itself, moment to moment. And for the last few minutes in this meditation, you could breathe in, drink in care for yourself, compassion, friendliness. And with the exhalation, you can spread care. Spread kindness. And go really slowly when you transit from a more formal meditation practice into the real stuff, into the daily life practice. This hardcore practice, I would say, sometimes. See what your body needs, if you want to stretch your body. Sigh.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.